and I'm going to be using this clip here, and I want to use the background of this building into two different shots. First is hold Option and drag upwards to duplicate our clip, and I'm going to move the playhead at the beginning. I'm going to go over here to this magic wand tool, and I'm going to click on add magnetic mask. So what we want to do is select the subject that you want to have placed above everything else. So I'm going to select him. I'm going to hold Option and click in between this because I don't want part of the building to be selected or part of the mask. So once you're happy with your selection, go ahead and click on analyze. All right, so I just finished the mask, and now if I go back and I push play, this is what the mask is going to look like. It looks really, really good. So now I'm going to go and click on done over here in the top right. So what I'm going to do now is use the bottom clip, and we're going to duplicate that one. So hold Option and drag upwards. Then I'm going to go to the beginning. I'm going to go over to the effects, and I'm going to go down to masks and keying, and I'm going to add a draw mask just because the background shot isn't moving at all. So I'm going to click over here, and I'm going to click and divide this as best as I can. So kind of following this line of this building and maybe going around. So click, and this will finish off the mask. Make sure you don't have a gap like this. Just make sure it's over like that. Now, if I disable the bottom clip, only the building is masked out, which looks like that. Now we're going to duplicate this bottom clip, which has nothing on it. So we're going to hold Option and duplicate it again. So on this new clip, we're going to add another draw mask. So go to draw mask and add that onto that clip. Do the same thing. I'm going to click once around the area that we want to add the other clips to. Okay, so we're going to go like that. So now if I disable the bottom clip, you're going to see it's two separate masks. We got the right side of the clip and the left side of the building. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add either an image or a video. Before we do anything, go over into the inspector window and go to this over here, which is the color tab. Go down to where it says no corrections and add a color board correction and bring the exposure all the way down to 0 for global. And this will make the area that you've made black. Now we're going to do the same thing for this shot here, which is this one. So I'm going to select that clip and do the same thing. So I'm just going to bring the exposure down. So now it's black. So we're going to drag the first clip, which is this one. I'm going to trim it and delete the rest. And I'm going to drag this one right over our first clip, which is going to be this one, the left one. Once we have this clip underneath the left side of the building, go over to the mask, which is this one with the black, and you're going to change the blend mode to stencil alpha. So now this turns black, and then make sure it's the same length, and then select those two clips, hold Option G to group them together. I'm going to name this group 1 and click OK. So now we're going to do the same thing for this right side. So we're going to drag the next clip, which is this one, press Command B and delete the rest of the clip that we don't need. I'm going to drag it in, make sure it's the same length. Now I'm going to select the right side of the building and change that to stencil alpha under blend mode. So go down to stencil alpha. So now we can click the bottom clip with our image and use the X and Y position to get it how you want it framed. So I think this is good. And then I'm going to select this clip and press Option G, and I'm going to name this group 2. Click OK, and there you go. So now it looks kind of like this. Now I don't want it to start right away, so I'm going to kind of play around with the timing of this so it kind of comes in at separate times. Okay, and now what we're going to do is go over to the effects. We're going to just type in negative for the effect and drag that onto both of your clips. We're going to create pretty much a flashing kind of strobe effect to the beginning of our clip. Start it at 100, add a keyframe, skip 2 frames and bring it to 0. So now it'll look like this. And then we're going to do the same thing for this one. Add a keyframe at 100, skip 2 frames to the right and bring the amount to 0. So now it looks like this. So for the end of this first clip, at the end, we're going to go about 5 frames to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to add a keyframe for 0. And then we're going to skip about 3 frames and bring the amount to 100. So it looks just like that. And then do the same thing for this one. So now if I go back and push play, it looks just like that. Have your clip in the timeline, and you want to hold Option and drag upwards to make a copy. Go where you want this effect to start. I want it to start here. So I'm going to go over and select the clip. I'm going to click on the magic wand tool and go to add magnetic mask. We're first going to select the subject that we want to mask out. So we're going to select him, and this looks pretty good. It's a good selection. I'm going to click on analyze to pretty much track our subject so we can mask him out of the clip, and you're going to see what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and click on done. What you're going to do is hold Option and drag upwards to make a second copy of our mask. So I want him to stop around here. So I'm going to hold Option F and I'm going to press Shift Z to see the timeline, and this is where it kind of stops. And then I'm just going to adjust this. So trim down the freeze frame effect, and it's gonna look like that. Maybe you could fade out effect by just decreasing the opacity if you want. So like, let's say right here, we add a keyframe next to opacity and you go to the end and one frame to the left and you bring it down. You could do something like this, or you could do something a little bit more creative and use the surge effects from my website, KingTutsPro.com. If you guys use my coupon code BF25, you will be able to save 25% off. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to drag this one right above our mask, and you're going to see it kind of explodes like this. And I'm going to make a cut. So press Command B, select both of these clips and name them something else. So I'm going to name this Surge Effects. Click OK. Now if I push play, it's just going to kind of go like this. And then maybe your next shot of this one could be something entirely different like this one. So now if I push play, it'll just kind of continue playing. We could probably turn this one off. So it looks like this. Visit my website for editing packs and use code BF25 for 25% off. So I'm going to be using this Lambo over here and the car over here, the McLaren on the right side. First, we need to track our car. So hold Option and drag upwards. Again, just add the magnetic mask. I'm going to go to the beginning and I'm going to select the Lambo first. So then I'm going to click on Analyze, and this will go ahead and track only the car. So once you're finished with the analysis, it's going to look like this, and it kind of messed up right here. So this is why I like to do it before he walks in front. So this is good though. Click on done, and then we're going to just trim it right here and then delete the rest because we don't need the rest of the masks to last that long. Then we're going to track the McLaren. So we're going to go about here and I'm going to press Command B. I'm going to hold Option and drag upwards because I only want it to affect this portion of the clip. I'm going to move the playhead at the beginning. So add a magnetic mask over here. Click once and click on Analyze. You're going to see it looks like this, and the first one looks like that. For the first car, what we're going to do is we're going to play it through. I want the effect to start about here, and then I'm going to go to the inspector window and I'm going to go to transform next to position, add a keyframe, and I'm going to skip a couple frames about here, and then I'm going to bring up Y up like this, maybe a little bit more dramatic, like 120, so it kind of plays like this. I want it to play through here maybe, and then add a keyframe, and then we're going to go a couple frames in as well, and then type in 0 for Y because that's the value we changed. So now if I go back and push play, it goes up and down. And we're going to go over to the effects and go to blur, and we're going to add a directional blur to this clip. Go to directional. We're going to change under angle. We're going to type in 90, and for amount, we're going to bring this to 0. So when it starts to move, which is about here, or if you don't want to guess, just right click and go to show video animation. So I'm going to move the playhead right here. And for directional, next to amount, we're going to type in 0. Next to angle, we're going to type in 90 degrees because it's going up and down. And I'm going to add a keyframe for amount next to 0. And I'm going to go halfway in between the first keyframe and the second one. And we're going to bring this amount all the way up to, I think 50 is pretty good. You can go higher, but this is fine. So I'm going to go and move the playhead here towards the second keyframe, and I'm going to type in 0 or just bring the slider to 0. So now it looks like this. Then I'm going to go to this one here and I'm going to add a keyframe next to amount again, go halfway in between those points, type in 60 and go to the last keyframe and type in 0. So now it should look like this. You could increase the value even more. Just go to that exact keyframe and maybe type in 100. So now it'll look a little bit more extreme. So I'm gonna go 100 actually. So I'm gonna go here and just type in 100 instead. So now it looks just like this. And then all you gotta do is right click on it again and go to show video animation. Under transform, we're gonna change the second keyframe. Click on it. We're going to increase the amount. So right here, and I'm going to increase it up. So I'm going to drag it up to 230 just to make it nice and even. And for the third keyframe, we're going to type that same amount. So 230, click OK. Go to the end of this one, and we don't need to do anything else. So now it looks a little bit kind of like this, which is kind of cool. And then you could do the same thing for the second shot, exact same process. So instead of doing it all over again, just press Command C, select your new clip and press Shift Command V all together. And then you're going to click paste. So it does it exactly the same. And if you want to do it again, hold Option and drag upwards, and then copy the second clip, press Command C, select the new clip and press Shift Command V and click paste. and now it'll just do all the effects all over again without you having to do it all over again. It just saves you significant amount of time. So that's going to be the effect, as you can see here. If you guys could leave a like and subscribe, that would be awesome. And comment down below if you have any video ideas, and I'll catch you on my next video. Find awesome drag and drop editing packs on my website. Choose your favorite, add it to your cart, and download instantly. Just drag and drop the assets into your timeline. Check out KingTutsPro.com for more.